What's going on, y'all? It's J Smoke Reviews here. Back at it again, man. Thank y'all for being patient with me. Had to take a little break there for 10 days. There was a couple days in that beginning part where I just got busy, and then I just had a week-long vacation to Sedona. Y'all ever been, man? It's a beautiful place. If you haven't been, I'd recommend going once in your life. But I'm not going to say out of the loop because I have been able to keep up a little bit on my phone, tweeting through, watching the outside day one battles as they dropped over the last week. And as you guys can see here, the first review we are doing is Ace Amin versus Arsonal from the outside day one card. Now, I know I put a poll up on Twitter with a couple of the main battles from the card, and the by far most voted for battle was Nitty versus Saflare Soul. So I'm very aware that's the battle that everyone wants reviewed. That will be coming tomorrow, just because of the little time of getting home. Now, a couple things I have to do today. It's a little bit more efficient for me to do Ace and Arsonal about half the time of the battle to watch and have some cool thoughts on it. So don't worry, Nitty versus Saflare Soul review is coming tomorrow. I know I'm a few days late in general talking about any of this, but you know how it goes, guys. Always got to review battles. Always, when I'm coming back, I'm always going to spotlight the battles that have went down, even if they haven't been talked about that much. And if you guys want to see a review for Obred or Fonz or Bill and Sheed, let me know. Had a little tweet, talk about how I already felt about Obred and Fonz. But, day one obviously isn't as good as day two, but the name value is there. So if you guys want to see a third review after these first two, like I said, just let me know in the comments down below. But Ace Amin versus Arsonal. One of the more talked about battles of the card. Pretty much a big battle for me to see where Ace is, especially versus a top tier op, even though Ars is not exactly the most competitive top tier op. A few different things that go into the matchup, but would love to break down the material and the things that actually happen within the battle. So without further ado, let's start with the first round. So the first round would start on Ace, and off rip, Ace, I'm in another person's state, up in another person's face. You guys know the classic Arsonal slogan, and Ace, comes out to garner a little bit of momentum, flips it on him, and then immediately goes into some, really heavy rhyme pockets. Now, when it comes to quoting Ace bar for bar, obviously I have a lot written down, but when I just say rhyme pocket or, rapping, pure rapping ability, it's something you really got to see for yourself, because I simply couldn't quote it with giving it its proper credit, right? But Ace, immediately, as he always does, is showing a pure rapping ability off rip and the difference in him and a lot of other MCs. From there, he gets to his clear cell, stop the bump bar, which I thought was dope. Obviously, Ace is also very big on the bumping and the physicality in battle rap, which I like somewhat. And then sometimes I feel like it's a little overdragged, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Really like the clear, so stop the bump bar. He had the Forever bar renamed everyone off the Forever track, which I really liked. Thought that was fire. The URL lawsuit, we ain't settling for shit. Thought that was cool. And then he hits probably one of the better, his heavier hitting bars in the first. Harriet Tubman, that means the rebel's a bitch. I like that. I thought that was fire. When they pull, talking about Arsonal's homie Wisdom, when they it'll be a hearse, and when they pull Wisdom out the back, he gonna feel excruciating pain. So Ace is clearly hitting at a level here. I always said when it came to the pockets, sometimes Ace can go really hard on the rapping pockets and making one word sound like 6 different words, right? But when it comes to just I always said that there needs to be a little more just pure punching in there, just efficient landing. And I feel like specifically in 2023, you have really seen a lot of that. And I like here, he's got 3 to 4 bars that have just landed right at Ars. From there, he gets into the one flow pocket that I really could break down, the wraparound sarcophagus. I just need a little space like a rocket ship. Only thing killing Wolverine is Apocalypse. So I love how he's hitting that there. Even the narcissist type of wordplay at the end, he used the narcissist, arcissist. So that was fire. But then they called time on him. Something that's going to happen throughout this battle. Definitely Arce's side was very, very, very strict with the time limits, although Ace gets a little more off in the first and third. But liked Ace's first, and it's on Arce in the first, and Arce's first is actually decent. I mean, overall, it's pretty an okay Arce, to be honest with you, compared to, the Arce that obviously I talk about a lot on this channel that is super fillery, kind of just comes and goes through the motions, but he is when Coffee sees Ebony, you might not like it, but you gonna respect the hustle. Thought that was decent. We was on D block, just trying to listen to the locks, bar about the dreads, thought that was fire too. Kicked out of preschool for bending everybody's blocks. When I found a fork in the road, I picked it up and whipped coke with it. Thought that was fire too. The Florida, Tampa with the evidence. So it's a little OBC on the wordplay, but this is a decent round. Even ends with an I formation. My homie, the I formation, he didn't get them options, a football I formation bar. So overall, shorter, cool first, though. As you can see, I'm quoting bars here that I thought were decent. I like the lock, Steve block one. I like the bend and blocks. Fork in the road I've even heard before, but I like the way he delivered it. I thought there was a little bit of originality to the setup. But overall, I don't really get that close. Just in terms of the creativity of the material, Ace clearly wrote better. In terms of pure rapping material, I like what Ace did better. Even in terms of the energy and delivery, I just thought Ace had a better round overall. So for me, it was a very, very easy and clear 1-0 going into the second round for Ace. And on to the second round, which is the closest to the battle, really just shortest on both sides. And this is where you really see the time calling. I'm not going to say affecting Ace, but definitely affects just as much material as he gets out. He is the starts out, which I love that flow pocket he started out with in the second, or I'm not gonna say the flow, but like the cadence that he had with it. I liked it. The band camp bar that came out of it was decent. Arsenal's trash, so I'm gonna give him a round of waist like Batman's belt. Thought that was decent. It goes into a filler angle, which if I remember, it was done a little bit better than Luke Castro's filler angle on SM, which was terribly executed. I thought it was decent here. It is always it's funny that it doesn't hit crazy, even though it's really true. I think the Ars rapping filler and kind of just like rhyming words sometimes has always been one of the detriments of his style, or at least more so, especially in his second half of his battle rap career. So that was decent. The cheat the game bar that came out of it was okay. Then he's an angle going at Ars about his Iron Solomon battle where you flipped Iron's hat, but people still had Iron winning. And he said they still had that white boy over derail, like Suge Knight, Vanilla Ice over the railing. We obviously know that. And then he has his best bar of the battle, or best bar of the round, but sadly it's like one of the last bars he gets out. Case killed Ars, and he couldn't do nothing to get out of box, outer box, out of box. And that was a haymaker, and that hit fire. And then as he's getting to his last bar, it looked like a Titanic bar, they hard call time on him, which is, really rough. Everybody hates in the middle of a battle when someone who's clearly in the middle of their rhymes gets like a super hard time called on them, especially like at the dot. I heard Ars say, oh, you agreed to 220, so I guess that was a 220 round, but Ace, decent round, stunts his momentum just because he can only get so much material out. And then Ars actually probably has his best round of the battle in the second. What I throw up on stage ain't chest rapping. That was cool. My favorite bar from Ars in this battle. First time I looked death dead in the face, I felt full of life again. I thought that was fire. And then he has the angle about the Goonies gang, twerks on pills, Jacks on medicine. Y'all kicked out Yusuf, and drugs was the only thing keeping y'all together. That was fire. So the death in the face and that, I thought those were two real peaks in this battle for him. And then the rest of his round is somewhat admissible. He has this like Farrakhan and like Muslim scheme. I'm a Muslim. It was okay. 357 rings 6 times like MJ, that is trash, but you know what I'm saying, he's good for a few of those in battle. And then I put my tax on everything like the dollar store. Even the ending of his round where he gives Ace a bump, something, how's he gonna find New Balance? Obviously there's always gonna be physicality in the Ace battle. So really decent round from Ars. I mean, I got more positive to say than negative on this one. Definitely better than his first. Really this comes down to, just because Ace's round is so small, do you feel like Ars is too haymakers, the drugs keeping you all together, and the full of life again? Do you feel like that was enough to just go over Ace's round? For me personally, it really is tough. I do think it is a debatable round. I'm not mad at anyone edging Ace the round, but I gotta say, I do think those two peak haymakers were decent enough. There's little jabs outside. Like I said, it's really close. It's not the craziest round from either, but I did like what Ars did, and surprisingly enough, I actually did edge Ars the second round. So, a shocking 1-1, but a lot of people will call, and I don't mind people calling it 2-0. Definitely could debate Ace. I got the second. I don't like the way they cut his time, so I didn't think it was fair to him. But as you get to the third, I feel like Ace really left no room for debate here, and really is his best round of the battle. He starts out with talking about his homie, kind of like a real talk story, referring back to life, a little bit of substance rap. And when they talk about his homie, when they set him on fire, that's when they matched the disrespect. Whole opener was kind of cold, really painted a picture. Then another one about, you know what I'm saying, his homie dying, and talking about he heard the music and thought he was getting called up to stage. I thought that was fire too. And then from there, more into the pure, you know what I'm saying, the more aggressive and really going at you type of rap from Ace, even though I love the opener, those two bars. I like that bag that Ace can get into. I think that his real talk and like kind of real life bag is always something, I don't want to say he doesn't use enough, because he uses it a lot in battle, but when it really like sits right there, kind of slows down the pace and does it, I think that's what sometimes some of the best material that Ace has. Then he gets into the Clips Push a T-bar, which is dope. I've looked down the barrel of a gun. Why'd y'all think Arsonal would be a scary look for me? The Saw Tuna bar, and then one of his best bars of the battle. While you were trying to get Hitman off your back, I was ducking a sharpshooter. Everybody knows Bret the Hitman Hart with the sharpshooter sitting on the opponent's back. That was fucking fire. Wrestling bars always hit. Even though we've heard a lot of sharpshooter bars, thought that was that extra layer of get Hitman off your back was fire. My homie was behind interrogation class, so he only see it one way. Fire, very much like the beginning when he gets in that kind of that substance bag, talking about, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to say talking about his life, but obviously it's a punchline that's referring more from life stuff or something real that maybe somebody can relate to, things of that nature. Just a very good bag. And then he gets into a flip Arsonal bar at the very end of his round. Something son him a flip Arsonal with another bump. And to me, I like one bump bar per battle for Ace. Sometimes it does work out where the energy is there, but sometimes it just comes off like over bumping, like kind of a shock value bar. I'm not saying it's the worst thing in the world, but when you get to like 2 or 3 bump bars a battle, it's like it's a little bit okay, but really a very small critique. As you can tell, really loved Ace's third round, and as you get to Arsonal's third, it's not really a throwaway round either. Ish, some decent stuff. Lost. I'm the only one that lost case, but didn't get indicted. That was cool. Battle rap's growing. We even had Smack on stage at the Oscars. You know what I'm saying? Cool. Chris Rock bar. You know what I'm saying? It was decent. And then from there, it is that kind of fillery arse at the back of the round. The Simba Lion King bar was okay. Then he gets into a bunch of like schemes and references. It's like a no limit one, a little mini no limit scheme. URL, he says like Chico Beasley and Smack all in this like same bar. Even a couple Mortal Kombat bars. I mean, it's really nothing crazy up until the end of the round. He is a funny bar. He did 10 years in the penitentiary with no pussy. I am not shaking his hand. That was a little funny moment overall. Than the penitentiary bar at the end, but overall, kind of the more that if there is one round that's like the filler arse round that he threw up, it's definitely the third. Not the craziest, but overall, I mean, it's a little better than what you usually get from Arse in the battles like the Losos and the Luke Castros and things like that. His second is actually like a pretty good round, and his first and third, while beatable and were beat clear in my opinion by Ace, were not the worst thing in the world, but this is really about Ace and what he did. Thought his third was his standout round of the battle, and for me, clearly won that round, giving him a 2-1 victory, if not a 3-0 over Arsonal. And that is my full review here for Ace Amin versus Arsonal. Obviously, I have Ace clear in the first round, Ace clear in the second, and I edged Arsonal in the second. Not mad at someone edging Ace the second. So as I said, you could call it 2-1 clear, possible gentleman's 30. And overall, it's definitely a decent battle. Day 1 clearly lacked energy compared to Day 2 crowd-wise when you just look at the footage. Battles like Fonz and O-Red, like I said, that didn't have like the craziest energy, on top of the fact that neither of them were that crazy in that battle. In a battle like Sheet and Bill, that was definitely solid, just didn't have the crowd energy behind it either. And that could be just low amount of people in the building, and there's a bunch of different things. Maybe who knows, you know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of great battles around this outside card, and obviously people like really look forward to Sheet and Bill, wanted that for a big card, so to see that go to like outside not be the craziest, but the funny thing is a battle like Ace and Arsonal got a ton of energy in the building. Maybe they started out the night, I believe, I don't 100% remember, but good overall. Ace's 2023, I think, has really been impressive to me. A guy that I've said before really just needs to, it's about activity and schedule with him. Obviously, he almost always has pretty good material, for if not great material for the most part. Obviously, a unique rapper, has his own sound. The kind of like very pen-like and very based on pure rapping, the syllables, like a true tactician when it comes to his craft. So to see him do that this year and kind of land more efficient haymakers with it, you see the Craig Lamar battle takes that very clear. You see this battle here, in my opinion, takes it very clear with like a good performance. It's rare that I feel like an Arse battle is gonna like lift your stocks. I feel like a lot of times Arse kind of mails in with filler. These guys don't give their best material, and you get a win, but it's kind of like an ugly win, like a Loso and Arse, right? But with this one, I thought Arse was decent. I thought Ace was just like really good and got a solid win. Is it the craziest win? Is it a career-defining win? No, but these are the wins those are the building blocks that build that resume together. Now he's got an Arse win. Now what happens if he gets an O-Red, right, and a win like that, maybe one more top tier than a big shot? That's how you build the schedule that I think helps with things like Champion of the Year and just overall building the best career for yourself as possible. So like what Ace did in this battle, think them doing the hard cutoffs on time fucked him up. He is someone that usually raps a little bit over the time, especially with the kind of the drawn out rhyming patterns and messages he tries to get across. He needs a little bit more of a longer round to fully get his point across per round, but I still think even with the hard cutoffs, his first and third were very, very good and got him the win here. So like I said, you guys let me know down below. You guys let me know down below in the comments who you had winning the battle and what rounds, and what other battles you'd like to see me review from day one. Like I said, Nitty versus Saflare Soul review coming out tomorrow, so just be on the lookout for that. We're going back to back, and let me know any other battles that you want to see covered. But it's been J Small Reviews again, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm gonna catch you on the next one, man. Peace.